Guys, this is Tina back in for another story. I wanted to just shed a light more on online dating. The story that I'm going to tell you today is about Sydney Loofe. So she was, this was in 2017, November 15th of 2017 in Nebraska. She was lured in from a Tinder date. So she had left work and was lured in by actually a woman and her boyfriend. Well, so she was lured in by the woman, and then once she got to the apartment, there was a man that was double her age. I think his age was 53. And then what they did was they lured her in. Apparently, this couple had some like weird fantasies or possibly like cultish behavior, and they wanted to commit some type of murder. I'm not sure, exactly why or what was going on in their head, but this poor girl, she left work in Nebraska, and then she didn't show up for work the next day, and that's when they put out a missing persons alert for her. So apparently, like she went into the apartment, and from what I read, that she was possibly killed very fast. It's unfortunate because she thought she was just going on a date, and I'm not sure like why. I think it's Bailey Bosley. Is this the girl who lured her in? So yeah, so it's suspects Bailey Brawley. I'm sorry, Bailey Boswell and Aubrey Trail. So Aubrey Trail is the male. Okay, he was 53 years old, and Sydney was only 24 years old. So she was lured in. I think they murdered her pretty quickly. But what is, this is a sad story. And again, like I've said before, if you're sensitive to certain details, and maybe you shouldn't watch this video. If you are a returning subscriber, I really thumbs up. Thank you for coming back and watching my videos. If you're new to my channel, I do appreciate the fact that you're here or viewing it or giving it a chance. So anyway, what ended up happening after she was lured into some apartment, they then murdered her. I don't have any of the details. I guess their stories keep changing or kept changing before the trial. But what happened was they ended up dismembering her, and this happened in Nebraska in Clayton County. So what they did is, from what I've read, is they dismembered her into 13 different pieces, and then they put her in plastic bags and dropped parts of her body all along the roads of Clayton County. The couple was then later caught on camera buying the cleaning supplies, the bags, and all those types of things. So in the beginning of the trial, after they were found out, they were both going to be or they were sentenced to death. They were supposed to get the death penalty. I know that I read that they went to the Supreme Court to try to overturn the death penalty for especially for Bailey, because she would have been one of the first women, I guess, killed in the state of Nebraska by lethal injection or capital punishment. I did also read another article though. First, it said one article said that the death penalty was not overturned and that she would still be on death row. But after doing a little more research, I did find that it says that Boswell will spend the rest of her life in prison, so she was able to escape the death penalty. So what I have told people before in the past is that once a case goes to trial and the death penalty is on the table, once that happens, then the life or lives in question, where the state's going to take the life, become part of of the trial. So it's not just only about the crime, it's also about the things that may have happened to these people prior to them, turning into the way that they did. They had some kind of like cultish behavior. They had like some fantasies about murdering a woman. I don't know. Both of them were really messed up. It says that Bailey Boswell, may have her mother had come forward and said that she was in a relationship with a man that abused her, in when she was a child. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm not going to say that here because YouTube, but assaulted her in a, SA type of way. Maybe not full blown, but still. And then also, when it comes to the man that was involved, apparently he had a really bad upbringing as well. So that's what happens with capital punishment cases when the death penalty is on the table. The case is not just about the crime; it's also about the lives that are in question. From what I have read, is that Bailey is sentenced now to life in prison, so the death penalty may be off the table for her. As far as her boyfriend goes, or whatever, the 53-year-old piece of crap that was there and assisted with this. He may be sitting on death row. I cannot seem to find anything about that. I just see a lot of information more about Sydney. And honestly, this story is about Sydney. Like this poor girl, all she wanted to do was just go on a date. And that's why I say online dating is so dangerous. I mean, I know I had put videos before and telling people to use True People Search. That's a search engine that you can go to Google and then you can look a person up via their phone number and just make sure like the number comes back as the person that they say they are. Just for your own safety, and then do background checks. But that doesn't always mean that you're going to be safe. So, going on an online date is risky already. Second, going to a person's place is, that's even more risky because now once she got into the apartment, she was immediately subdued and unable to protect herself. So they were able to do whatever they wanted to do. I heard from what I've read is that the murder happened pretty fast. So hopefully she didn't suffer too long. But then the desecration of her body, like, is just disgusting. What is wrong with these people? Like, it's so sad. You know, I think that, like, it could happen to any of us if we go on online dates, or any date for that matter. When you don't know the person, you really don't know who you could be getting into a car with, or going into a home with. I covered another case where the guy had said that if as long as he was able to get another case back to his place or her place, he was going to kill her. So he'd already had it in his mind that he was going to kill her. So, this case, they did both face the death penalty. I think that Bailey, the woman, was spared. I'm not sure about the man that was involved. He is so Aubrey Trail is his name. And it said that, like both of them like excelled in school and they were doing well, but obviously I think they may have been on some type of drugs or whatever, and then also had some type of cultish behavior, and then together they became these, having these murderous thoughts. And sometimes people will do things with another person that they wouldn't likely do alone. It's kind of like the pack, the story about like a pack, how people like wouldn't normally act a certain way unless they were around a certain type of crowd that has the same thoughts in their head. But so this is unfortunate. This poor girl, it's so frustrating because all Sydney Loofe was trying to do was just go out on a date, and it ended her life, and it ended it in a heinous way. I don't have the details of, all of what happened to her because as I said, from what I see in the story, they changed their story many times. But they did find Sydney's body, you know, in plastic bags on certain parts of Clayton County, Nebraska. So, this crime happened in Nebraska. The point here is like just please try to be safe out there, especially when you're going on an online date. Meet the person in public. I would never go into someone's house. Like that's just like it's scary. It's very scary, and this is definitely by not in no means Sydney's fault. Like she did not ask for this. She did not deserve this. I don't think anyone deserves this. But yeah, so I just wanted to stop in and have a quick story and tell you guys a quick story. Again, I do appreciate the fact that whoever has subscribed, have subscribed, or if you're just stopping by and you're viewing the video, that's also great too. I hope that I can bring you more cases. I think that I would like to spend more time talking about this case because, again, you know, um, with YouTube, some of the videos they have to be shorter, so it's like you're kind of cramming things into a short amount of time. But it's just a really sad story about poor Sydney because she was only 24 years old in 2017, and so we're in 2023, so she will be what? So that's 2017 is 5 or 6 years. So she would still be like maybe 29 or 30 years old, just out there living her life, and now she's gone, and it's just really sad. As far as the death penalty goes, capital punishment, I think I've already expressed how I feel about that. If the punishment fits the crime, well, then that's what I think should be carried out. But I'm not the judge or the jury. So, obviously, they were able to spare Bailey Boswell, the female. The male, I'm still not sure about Aubrey trial. It just shows that he was arrested about over the murder. And also then again, there's information about how he grew up. And again, as I said, this goes back to capital punishment and how the case is not only about the person that was killed, which is sad because like, what about their rights? Like, come on, it's like because a person is passed, it feels like they're not getting justice. And once your life is gone, it's gone. Just try to be safe out there. If you're going to go on an online date, again, do your due diligence. Sometimes you can do your due diligence and still run into a monster. But most importantly, is just try to do your research on the person. As I said before, online dating is dangerous. It's kind of like, back in the old days, I know before my time, like women used to go hitchhiking and get in cars with strangers. Like to me, that's bizarre. But back then, there people were so trusting. But now, what we have is online dating, and it seems like people are more trusting than probably we should be of others around us, especially when you're going on an online date because you really don't know the person, you don't know the background. So that's why I say do your research, and if let's say you go to the True People search place and you find out, the numbers a match. You can also look at past addresses and like past dates that they may have lived in, or and then look through that system and then look for any kind of violent possible arrest by these people. Of course, she may not have been able to do that on Bailey, and also his name is Aubrey. That's the male? That was the 53-year-old male. So I'm not sure that she even knew that the male was going to be there, or I don't know if this was, what type of date this was. Was she going to meet the girl, or I highly doubt that a 24-year-old girl was going to meet a 53-year-old man. I mean, but you never know. But again, the victim is the person that needs to be focused on here. She was young, she was, a worker, she had everything going for her, and her life was taken. It was taken in a heinous way. And again, these people that perpetrate these type of crimes, I wish we didn't have to talk about things like this, but unfortunately, this is, just another one of those stories about online dating. So just try to be safe out there. And thank you for watching if you've given me a little bit of your time today. And I hope that you were able to, even learn something or pass on some of the information to your friends if they're doing online dating or not. And just do whatever it is that you can to do checks on people because, and then also, try not to just get in a car with someone that you don't know because once you get in there, you could get stuck. And obviously, when she got into the apartment, she was immediately subdued. So, this is just very dangerous activity. So, anyway, thank you for spending your time with me today if you did. And I hope to see you soon in the next video. Okay?